Dorothy stared at herself in the mirror, her fingers combing through her curly locks with frustration. For as long as she could remember, her hair had been a source of anguish rather than pride. No matter how much she tried to tame it, her curls always seemed to rebel, springing up in wild, unruly tendrils that defied her every effort to control them. As she prepared for yet another audition, Dorothy couldn't help but feel a pang of dread. It wasn't the audition itself that terrified her, but rather the inevitable moment when the director's eyes would narrow disapprovingly at the sight of her curly hair, dismissing her before she even had a chance to speak. But today was different. Today, Dorothy decided, she would no longer hide behind straightening irons and chemical treatments. Today, she would embrace her natural curls and all the confidence they had robbed her over the years. With a deep breath, she stepped out of her apartment and into the bustling streets of New York City, her curls bouncing with newfound determination. The audition room buzzed with anticipation as Dorothy took her place in front of the casting director, her heart pounding in her chest. She could feel the weight of his gaze on her, scrutinizing every inch of her appearance with a critical eye. But instead of the usual disdain she had come to expect, the director's expression softened as he studied her curls, a curious gleam in his eyes. "Well, well, well," he said, a hint of intrigue in his voice. "What do we have here?" Dorothy braced herself for the inevitable rejection, but to her astonishment, the director's next words took her completely by surprise. "I must say, Miss Dorothy," she supplied, her voice trembling with uncertainty. "Dorothy," the director repeated, a smile spreading across his face. "Your curls are absolutely captivating. They give you a unique quality that I find quite refreshing." Dorothy blinked in disbelief, unsure if she had heard him correctly. Had he just praised her curls instead of criticizing them? Before she could process his words, the director leaned forward, his eyes shining with excitement. "I have the perfect role for you, Dorothy. The lead in our upcoming production. Are you interested?" For a moment, Dorothy could only stare at him in shock, her mind struggling to comprehend what was happening. But then a sense of exhilaration washed over her, filling her with a newfound sense of confidence. "Yes," she said, her voice steady and sure. "Yes, I'm interested." And with those words, Dorothy's life changed forever. As rehearsals began for the production, Dorothy threw herself into her role with a passion she had never known before. With each passing day, she discovered new depths to her character, drawing inspiration from her own experiences and struggles. But it wasn't just Dorothy's performance that captured the audience's attention. It was her curls, wild and free, a stark contrast to the sleek, straight hairstyles that had dominated the stage for so long. As the opening night drew near, Dorothy found herself surrounded by a newfound sense of acceptance and empowerment. Women from all walks of life approached her, sharing their own stories of struggle and self-doubt, inspired by her courage to embrace her natural beauty. And when the curtains finally rose on the night of the premiere, Dorothy stood on stage with her head held, her curls cascading around her like a crown of glory. The audience erupted into applause as she delivered her lines with a confidence and poise that took their breath away. And as the final curtain fell, Dorothy knew that she had done more than just perform. She had sparked a revolution. Word of Dorothy's triumph spread like wildfire, igniting a movement that swept across the globe. Women everywhere began to embrace their natural curls, rejecting the narrow standards of beauty that had held them captive for so long. Dorothy became a symbol of empowerment and self-acceptance, her story inspiring countless others to embrace their own unique beauty, regardless of society's expectations. And as the years passed, Dorothy's influence only continued to grow. She starred in countless productions, each one more successful than the last, her curls becoming her trademark and her legacy. But for Dorothy, the greatest reward was knowing that she had helped to change the world, one curly hair at a time. As she looked back on her journey, she realized that her hatred for her curls had been misplaced all along. They were not a flaw to be hidden or disguised, but rather a symbol of strength and resilience. And as she stood on stage, bathed in the spotlight, Dorothy knew that she was exactly where she was meant to be. embracing her curls and embracing herself in all her beautiful, unconventional glory.